afraid that after you've done this wonderful thing for them without making a single mistake, they just sat there, never said a word to you, never petted you, or admired you, or told you how splendid you'd been?
Not a word. They just sat there congratulating each other on how marvelous they'd been, and the next moment on how glad they were it was all over, and what a bore it had all been.
This is simply appalling. I should not have thrown my slippers at him. I should have thrown the fire irons.
What's that?
Henry, I knew it wouldn't be too long. Now, remember, you not only danced with a prince last night, you behaved like a princess.
Well, the most confounded thing, do you? You?
Good afternoon, Professor Higgins. Are you quite well?
Am I?
Of course you are. You are never ill. Would you care for some tea?
Don't you dare try that game on me. I taught it to you. Now you get up and come home and stop being a fool. You've caused me enough trouble for one morning.
Very nicely put indeed, Henry. No woman could resist such an invitation.
How did this baggage get here in the first place?
Eliza came to see me this morning, and I was delighted to have her. And if you don't promise to behave yourself, I must ask you to leave.
What do you mean to say I'm to put on my Sunday manners for this thing that I created out of the squashed cabbage leaves of Covent Garden?
That's precisely what I mean.
Well, I'll see her damned first.
However did you learn good manners with my son around?
It was very difficult. I should never have known how ladies and gentlemen behaved if it hadn't been for Colonel Pickering. He always showed me that he felt and thought about me as if I was something better than a common flower girl. You see, Mrs. Higgins, apart from the things one can pick up, the difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how she behaves, but how she is treated. I shall always be a flower girl to Professor Higgins because he always treats me as a flower girl and always will. But I know I shall always be a lady to Colonel Pickering because he always treats me as a lady and always will.
Henry, don't grind your teeth.
The bishop is here, madam. Shall I show him into the garden?
The bishop and the professor? Good heavens, no. I shall be excommunicated. I'll see him in the library. Eliza, if my son starts breaking up things, I give you full permission to have him evicted. Henry, dear, I suggest you stick to two subjects, the weather and your health.
Well, you've had a bit of your own back, as you call it. Have you had enough, and are you going to be reasonable, or do you want any more?
You want me back only to pick up your slippers and put up with your tempers and fetch and carry for you.
Now, I didn't say I wanted you back at all.
Oh, indeed. Then what are we talking about?
Well, about you, not about me. If you come back, you'll be treated as you've always been treated. I can't change my nature. I don't intend to change my manners. My manners are exactly the same as Colonel Pickering.
That's not true. He treats a flower girl as if she were a duchess.
Well, I treat a duchess as if she was a flower girl.
Oh, I see. The same to everybody.
Just so. You see, the great secret, Eliza, is not a question of good manners or bad manners or any particular sort of manners, but having the same manner for all human souls. The question is not whether I treat you rudely, but whether you've ever heard me treat anyone else better.
I don't care how you treat me. I don't mind your swearing at me. I shouldn't mind a black eye. I've had one before this. But I won't be passed over.
Then get out of my way, for I won't stop for you. You talk about me as though I was a motor bus.
So you are a motor bus, all bounce and go and no consideration for anybody. But I can get along without you. Don't you think I can't?
I know you can. I told you you could. You've never wondered, I suppose, whether I could get along without you.
Don't you try to get around me. You'll have to.
So I can, without you or any soul on earth. I shall miss you, Eliza. I've learnt something from your idiotic notions. I confess that, humbly and gratefully.
Well, you have my voice on your gramophone. When you feel lonely without me, you can turn it on. It has no feelings to hurt.
can't turn your soul on.
Oh, you are a devil. You can twist the heart in a girl just as easily as some can twist her arms to hurt her. What am I to come back for?
For the fun of it, that's why I took you on.
And you may throw me out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
Yes, and you may walk out tomorrow if I don't do everything you want me to.
And live with my father?
Yes, or sell flowers, or would you rather marry Pickering?
I wouldn't marry you if you asked me, and you're nearer my age than what he is.
And he is.
I'll talk as I like. You're not my teacher now. That's not what I want, and don't you think it is? I've always had chaps enough wanting me that way. Freddie Hill writes me 2 and 3 times a day, sheets and sheets.
Oh, in short, you want me to be as infatuated about you as he is that it?
No, I don't. That's not the sort of feeling I want from you. I want a little kindness. I know I'm a common ignorant girl and you're a book-learned gentleman, but I'm not dirt under your feet. What I did, was not for the taxis and the dresses, but because we were pleasant together, and I came to care for you. Not to want you to make love to me, and not forgetting the difference between us, but more friendly-like.
Well, of course, that's how I feel. And how Pickering feels. And Eliza, you're a fool.
That's not the proper answer to give me.
The only answer you get to is stop being a plain idiot. If you're going to be a lady, you'll have to give up feeling neglected if the men you know don't spend half their time sniveling over you and the other half giving you black eyes. You find me cold, unfeeling, selfish, don't you? Well, be off with you to the sort of people you like. Marry some sentimental hog or other with lots of money and a thick pair of lips to kiss you with and a thick pair of boots to kick you with. If you can't appreciate what you've got, you better get what you can appreciate.
Oh, I can't talk to you. You always turn everything against me. I'm always in the wrong. But don't be too sure that you have me under your feet to be trampled on and talked down. I'll marry Freddie, I will, as soon as I'm able to support him.
Freddie? That poor devil who couldn't get a job as an errand boy, even if he had the guts to try for it? Woman, don't you understand? I've made you a consort for a king.
Freddie loves me. That makes him king enough for me. I don't want him to work. He wasn't brought up to it as I was. I'll go and be a teacher.
What do you teach, in heaven's name?
What you taught me, I'll teach phonetics.
Ha, ha, ha.
I'll offer myself as an assistant to that brilliant Hungarian.
What, that imposter, that humbug, that toadying ignoramus? Teach him my methods, my discoveries. You take one step in that direction and I'll wring your neck.
Wring away, what do I care? I knew you'd strike me one day. Ah, that's done you, Henry Higgins, it has. Now I don't care that for your bullying and your big talk.